Hello, Cabo here. Today I'm gonna tell you about one of my favorite web series, Chicken Nugget. I'm not just gonna talk about it uh, like positively, I'm also going to tell you about what I don't like about the series. Chicken Nugget is a series of short form videos about whimsical cartoon characters living their lives and trying their best. It tries to mix cartoon logic and slapstick humor with slice of life themes and discourse, creating a little fun space for whoever's scrolling. It helps people feel accepted or just laugh at a silly joke, facing everyday issues in each video, but also leaving space for just whimsical little shorts that are about animation jokes and so on. In either case, each video establishes something more about every character and it lets everything feel tied together in a neat way without necessarily creating a firm continuity that needs to be followed in order to understand everything. You can find this series on either YouTube or TikTok. Those are the ones that I know of, but they're surely on Instagram as well. You can basically watch the small videos in whichever order you prefer. And the YouTube channel also has some compilations that can help you find your favorite more easily. Like if you enjoy the shorts about two specific characters interacting, you can find the compilation about that. So, what are my favorite things about Chicken Nugget? Well, first of all, I'm gonna talk about the art style. It's a very cutesy and unique kind of cartoon style, and it represents the show perfectly while not being closely similar to anything else. This isn't just referred to the design of the characters themselves, but I'm also referring to the animation style, the way the characters move and interact with the world around them. This includes the animation focused shorts, which are, in my opinion, the most creative and fun in the series, featuring a lot of different styles of backgrounds and, as I said, animation and style. There's one short in which two of the main characters look like manga protagonists. It's extremely fun. Then again, we also need to talk about the very effective characterization. Each of the characters has a really distinguished personality that makes each interaction feel unique and fun. I just really enjoy it when I get to see two characters that don't interact much speak together, and it always feels new. Finally, the comforting aspect of the show. Many episodes are all about loving yourself and who you are, even if you don't like your body or aspects of your personality. It inspires you to change and to try your best, but also to rest and take a break when you're too tired. It's ideal for a rough day. But this formula eventually grew stagnant. Obviously, after watching various shorts, you sort of start to understand how everything works and you eventually get bored. It grew to feel old, like I had already seen it before. So, in time, I began to distance myself from the series. Not on purpose, but I just ended up leaving it behind until a big change revolutionized everything about it and it brought me back. So we have this enormous plot point that's been suddenly brought with initially small hints and then it became more clear what it was about. This new enormous plot point that sort of changes the story completely, changes the way you perceive the chicken nugget world completely. And it sort of brought me back to the fandom because admittedly I was starting to leave everything behind after a while because the old short formula got stagnant. So once this new plot point was introduced, I came back and I started to theorize. It was fun and refreshing, and I'll admit that I love it when small creators get out of their comfort zone to escape stagnancy and create something new. And I especially love it when it puts everything on the line. It's basically the opposite of what Disney does nowadays. It's especially nice when there's already an established audience for your product, but you still want to risk changing it. It's a very nice thing to do, I think. But once the initial excitement grew tamer, I unfortunately started to see the cracks in this new world building thing. I'm not talking about problems with the new idea for the story, it's great, and I like it. But despite my undying love, I noticed that the dialogue, the various events that occurred, and the story itself was kind of failing in the way they were trying to tell it. Rewatching Chicken Nugget lore heavy episode feels like reading a cute novel, but every important event is summarized into a sentence. It's good, but, and I said it many times now, but it needed to be sustained with a change in form as well, because the normal duration of a standard episode was way too short to sustain this. It was clearly not built for lore heavy moments, and it showed. It worked back when it was just hints of a bigger story, but when you start getting deep into it, you have to do something about the way it feels. It's clanky. There's important moments that feel rushed, there's motivations that don't align with what we've been shown, and there's, for example, a moment in which the main character is going through some sort of existential crisis, and the whole thing is quickly pushed away without much of an explanation. They simply accept to be what they are, but I would have really enjoyed to see that being a slower change. And then again, there's a problem in the continuity of the show itself. Like, if we try to hold a character accountable for what they do, we have to hold all of the characters accountable for what they do. If characters are treated differently, and way too differently, it sort of takes you out. It makes you less immersed in what you're watching. And the whole point of this new theme was trying to change the direction of the story itself, to show that actions have consequences. You have to give me a reason for someone to be forgiven, because like this, it just feels like some characters are treated too differently than others. And another thing is that to try and do this new whole story thing, some of the main characters are completely forgotten and left out, and they have very little time dedicated to them in the midst of everything. And it's very sad because they're not supposed to be less important. We saw that in the previous shorts. They inhabit this little world as much as the others, and they were previously considered to be just as important. In short, I think that when you decide to change the direction of your story, you have to be careful about thinking everything through, especially if you have a small theme. With that said, I still love Chicken Nugget and I will continue to, as it's heartwarming and very relaxing to watch. I just wanted to point out what, in my opinion, doesn't really work well with the formula. But I find it amazing how far the story has come compared to where it started. It was a brave decision to change directions, as I said. And to end this whole video, I can't wait to see where Onion Ring and Chicken's journey will take us next. Please keep going, keep working, and I wish you the best of luck. All of you. Thank you for watching.